Hello everyone and welcome back to CW Films. In today's video I'm going to show you all how to get abducted by aliens. Let's do it.
The first thing to do is get your shots, and you're only going to need two. One of where the UFO is going to be, and you. Also, don't make the same mistake as me. I recorded myself in front of a tree, which is very hard to roto out with a really weird background like this, so do not make that same mistake. It'll cause you a lot of problems. Now, once you have those shots and they're converted to your downloads, open up After Effects, and let's get right into it. Here we are in After Effects, and once you get a new composition, go to File, Import, multiple files, and get your shot without you, just the shot, the clean plate, where the UFO is going to be. You're going to drag and put it in your composition, and you're going to rename it. Now, renaming your layers is a good practice to do because it helps you whenever you're working with many layers to not get mixed up when editing, so you don't accidentally edit the wrong thing. I'm going to name it something basic like my clean shot, and now I'm going to go back and get the shot with me. I'm going to put that over this shot, and I'm going to rename this my actor clip. Now you can just see there's me sitting on top of a chair looking kind of weird, and now it is time to get to the editing. Duplicate your actor clip, and you're going to double click on the top layer. You're going to grab the roto tool by clicking on it, and you're going to draw a mask around your actor. Try to get a very clean roto your first try so you don't have to go in and fix anything afterwards. Also, put your quality at best so you can get as good as a roto as possible. I probably feathered this out just a little bit as well. Now, the good thing about having the tree behind me is the tree is going to be behind me in most of the shot. So if there is any spill of leaves, you're going to be able to see that it blends with the other leaves. Now, there's also parts like this I'm seeing that the cherry is starting to kind of show, so I definitely need to fix that and try to get as clean of a shot as I possibly can so I don't have to go back and do it later. Now you're going to want to press the spacebar and let it go through and analyze your clip. Now that I think about it, you had no reason to duplicate this layer, so just delete the one that's not rotoed because I actually don't know why I should do that. That is my bad. I do not know what I was thinking. Scale down your actor to where they're staying on the ground, and this is basically when they're going to get abducted. So I kind of jump when I'm planning to get abducted, so like right here, I'm kind of moving a little bit. So I'm going to go to transform, press position, right here to create a keyframe. I'm going to go all the way over here, and I'm going to move myself up here, actually past the screen. And there you go, I've gotten abducted. Now, this is only the first part. So now you have me getting just gone. I'm just gone forever. So now we have the shot of me staying on the ground and getting abducted. Also, y'all, I forgot to actually mention this, but what I did was I duplicated my roto clip. I turned the duplicated layer just completely black, and what I did is I made it look like a shadow. I changed the 3D area of it to where it's kind of face on the ground, and I just edited it and keyframed it to kind of just follow upwards to make it look like the shadow of myself. So very simple, just all you gotta do is just duplicate the layer, turn it around a little bit, color correct it to look just totally black, and there you go, you got a shadow. Go to composition, add to render queue, and render. Once your clip is finished rendering, what you're going to want to do is go down here to your downloads. You're going to click your clip, and you're going to want to rename it. I'm going to name this Abduction scene. I'm also going to save it to my photos. Also, when you exit out, make sure to save this. Now we're going to open up Blender and start off like we do with pretty much everything Blender. We're going to delete everything. Now you're going to add a camera and reposition it. Once you've got your camera straightened out, what you're going to want to do is you're going to come down to the camera icon, go to background images, and add image. Go to movie clip and press open. Now go to your downloads and find your clip that you exported out of After Effects. And now when you press the camera icon, you should be seeing your clip through the camera. Now what you're going to want to do is go up here to where it says render properties, press where it says render engine, press Eevee, and go to cycles. What you're going to do now is add a plane, and you're going to reposition it to align with the ground around your actor. What you're going to want to do now is you're going to want to go to the plane, go to object properties, go under visibility, and you're going to click shadow catcher. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add a sun, and you're going to kind of position it to where the sun is in your shot. For me, it's kind of not behind me, it's more in front of me and off to this angle. And now when you go into the viewport shading, you're going to see that that plane is no longer there. That's because all it's going to do is act as a catcher for the shadows. That's why it's called a shadow catcher. Okay, now it is time to start making your UFO. Now you can make it any way you want. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do mine, but you don't have to follow this at all. You can make your own UFO. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add mesh and get a torus. I'm going to shade it smooth by just clicking on it and pressing shade smooth, and I'm going to try my best to position it just to see how this looks in the shot. And now I'm going to go into the shading tab, and this is how we are going to edit the look of it. Press new, and you're gonna see a lot of stuff here. Don't get overwhelmed, overstimulated, whatever. It's actually, this is not that hard to do. What you're going to do is, I'm on a Mac, so I'm gonna go Shift A, go to search, and I'm gonna make mine have more of a bricky texture so I can get some more stripes on it like this. And I'm going to go for more of a blacker, darker look. I'm gonna up the scale and try to make it look like kind of like a starry pattern. And that's all. That's the only look I want for this. So when I go into this viewport, you can see it has this starry black look. Now I'm gonna go back to add mesh, and I'm going to get a UV sphere and shade to smooth, of course. I'm going to scale this down, and I'm going to flatten it out a little bit, and I'm going to put it on top of the torus. So it kind of has a very classic UFO type of look, as you can see here, but I kind of want this to be more flat, so we're going to do it more like this. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press this here. You're going to want to go to the material properties, go to surface, and press transparent. And I'm going to color this a little bit differently, so like this, and you can see here it's kind of got a glassy type of look. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another UV sphere. I'm going to, of course, shade to smooth, and I'm going to kind of crunch it down just a little bit to where it's almost just flat. I'm going to put it under the UFO, and I'm going to scale it down just a little bit, and I'm going to try to fit it inside of the UFO. Now I'm going to click it. I'm going to go into shading. I'm going to go to shading, and I'm pretty much going to do the exact same thing that I did to the ring around the UFO with the brick texture. It's pretty much going to look identical. And also you can see here it kind of fills out the shadow as well, because since this is transparent, all the shadows and the sunlight was going through it. And once you're finished with your UFO, you're just going to click all the pieces of your UFO, and you're going to double click and press join. Now it doesn't show up for me because I've already done that. So now when you move around your UFO, it all moves around together instead of in separate pieces. So I'm going to start a keyframe right here. I'm going to make sure I get a keyframe by moving around my UFO right here. And I'm going to go back here and move my UFO right here. So now it should come in, but I want it to actually come in a lot slower than that. So I'm just going to move my keyframe away a little bit. All right. So now you have my UFO. It's come in. It's over me. So I'm going to start another keyframe with this blue line here. And I'm going to try to follow myself by just flying upwards like this. So it's going to start to take me like this. I'm getting abducted. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, what you want to do now is you want to open up this tab here, go to Z under rotation, and click it and put in hashtag frame. This is going to make an infinite rotation with your UFO. And make sure you are on your UFO when you do this. And you're gonna see it starts to rotate, but it's very out of place. So I'm gonna go in again, and I'm gonna go hashtag frame divide 200. And it's gonna make it rotate, but it's in a way slower manner, as you can see here. Okay, y'all, so what I have done is I have added a light. It is a spotlight, and I have keyframed it to go along with the UFO, And just basically what it is, it's a green light, and what it does is it just comes along to the UFO and it keyframes along with it and it flies up with it, kind of gives it some light on the UFO of where this beam is going to show from. You just keyframe it with the UFO, you don't join it together or anything like that. And to do this cone opening thing I did, I went to show cone, I went to here, I pressed this where it says spot size, and I made sure it was very small, and I went to here, and I just moved it up to here, and I pressed it again. That's all it takes to create a keyframe with this, but that's about where I'm at now, and that's pretty much it with this scene in Blender. Now once you're finished and you want to export your project, what you're going to want to do is you're going to figure out where you want it to go. I want mine to go to download, so I'm going to go over here to output properties and click this button. I'm going to click my downloads. I'm going to rename it and accept. Now I'm going to go to render properties, go to film, press transparent. Now by the way, whenever your clip ends, which mine ends about here, you're going to want to make sure it stops rendering your animation wherever your animation actually does end. So mine's about right here. So I'm going to stop it there. Now I'll go back to render and render animation. Okay, now that it's been a few years and my render has finally finished, just kidding, it's only been a few hours, I'm back in After Effects ready to implement it. So I got it here from my files, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and you see it perfectly aligns with my shot, which is pretty cool. Now that's only the beginning, so we have a lot more to do. Now first I'm going to start on the light beam, which I'm going to do that by going to layer, new, solid, and make it a white layer. And I'm going to press this button so I can't really see it right now, and I'm going to click right here, 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 make a little triangle out of it. Alright, now it starts about right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put it right here. It's very small, can't really see it. It'll start like this. I'm also going to increase the feather of this mask just a little bit. I'm going to go to transform, press opacity, go down to 0. About where that light starts, where I can see the light, I'm going to move back up to 100. Now I'm going to press this where I can see it. I'm going to go to the mask and press mask path. So I'm going to create a keyframe right here. I'm going to go a few frames ahead now, and I am going to move it out like this so it kind of covers myself. I'm also going to I'm probably going to actually mess the opacity a little bit differently. I'm actually probably, instead of making it 100, I'm going to make it kind of transparent like this. I go back to the mask, and you can see now it's kind of swallowed me whole here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up. I'm going to make this follow and get bigger with time. Now I'm going to close it up like this. I'm going to go back to transform. I'm going to make another keyframe right here that's practically the same opacity. I'm going to go 1 frame forward and turn it all the way off to 0. So it should kind of just close as I'm going up. Now for me, I chose a green coloration, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to effects and presets and type in glow, drag and drop. I want that lime green color, so I'm going to set both of my colors to that. I'm going to go to alpha channels and turn up my glow radius and glow intensity. And here we go, we have a beam that is taking me away to space. So you can obviously add a lot more, but if you're done here, that's fine. Select all of your layers and pre-compose them. Now you're going to go up here and you're going to type in curves, and you are going to get a nice little color grade. Now I don't really want to color grade mine too much, so now what I'm going to do is I want a little camera shake, so what I'm going to add is the transform effect. I'm going to click position and option at the same time. I'm going to go down here, type in wiggle, parentheses, 3, 3, close the parentheses there. Also expand your shot ever so slightly. Now you should have just a minimal amount of camera shake. And you could always change the amount of camera shake you get by going here and changing out the numbers, things like that. So now it's more of a wider camera shake, but it's also a little bit more slower. Now my shot also ends pretty abruptly, like right here. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this here. I'm gonna go to composition, add the render queue, and that's it. That's the clip. And that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope it helped. I hope you all were able to create something amazing. And that's it for today's video. I'll see you all in the next tutorial.